another week removed, but going back to last time out for the Cats, 3-2 overtime win on 2 weeks ago Friday against Mankato. Ended a vaunted home winning streak for the Mavericks, 26 games like we talked about. I had to imagine that felt pretty good.
Yeah, especially the way the game went. We were down 2-0. It's a tough place to win the way it is, and to come back, tie the game, and then right at the end of the game, we get whistled for a penalty. So we got to kill the penalty, we come out of the penalty box. The next shift, we steal a puck and score. And all of a sudden, you think it's game over, and the ref calls it off and calls us another penalty. So to get that one killed, and then AJ came right out of the box, and I was kind of yelling at the guys because it was 3-on-3, and I was yelling at the guys on the ice, keep it in their zone, keep it in their zone, keep it in their zone. Because if AJ comes out of the box and he steps right onto the ice, he's going to be hard to find, because everybody's kind of got a guy and it's man on man, and and he came right out and they hit him right down Broadway, and he doesn't miss a lot of those.
Well, like you said, Coach, a lot was against the Cats in that game. Like you said, untimely penalties, going down 2-0 to start the game against a top 10 nationally Mankato team, against that Mankato team where it's already tough to beat them at home, never mind after they've won 26 in a row in their own building. It would have been pretty easy to just kind of, all right, go at any one of those moments, be like, all right, on to the next one. Guess tonight wasn't our night. But Cats clearly didn't do that.
You know what was weird? Even though they scored first and they were winning on the scoreboard, I felt like we were playing better than they were. Like, I felt like we were controlling the game, and I said that to the guys after the first period, and then they get up 2-0, but it didn't feel like that. It felt like we were gonna get our chances, gonna get our opportunities. Finally got a power play and scored on it right away, and then got the shorty and obviously won in overtime.
Talk about those games. I feel like that can be a pretty universal feeling across sports. There are just some nights where you could be the better team, but that team just comes out and has a better night. But in a game like that where you feel like you guys are doing everything right, is it just reminding them to trust the process, to go out there and continue to do exactly what they're doing when they're not seeing the immediate results?
Yep. And sometimes it's hard because you can tell on the bench, you even tell them stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. You can tell that they don't feel it. That wasn't the case in that game. The bench was alive. That's a big thing for us. When I feel like our bench is alive, we usually play well. If our bench is quiet, I get concerned. Now, you can still win the game because you can still make plays and you can still, you got enough guys who can make a play. But I just felt like that game we were alive. Like, guys were talking, communicating, and that's important.
So, like we were kind of joking about before this got started, big week this week for the hockey team, home and home with Michigan Tech this weekend. So, what does this rivalry mean to this group of guys in particular?
I hope it means a lot. I mentioned to him yesterday, you're here this weekend, and we were off. And I probably went out twice and went to Super One at Walmart. And I bet there's 8 people that said, come on, Coach, we got to beat Tech. It's Tech week. It's real. It's a top 5 rivalry in college hockey. And they've had the better, it's been an interesting kind of history with, since Coach Sean and I have both been here, we got here the same years. The first probably 3 years, it was kind of all us. The last 3 years, it's been all them. And that it's just been like this, like boom, 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 so we got to find a way out of it. Our senior class has been dominated by them, and not unlike Ohio State and Michigan, it was Ohio State dominated that, and I think it was because it was more important to them, that game was more important to Ohio State. This game's got to be just as important to us, and we talk about the UP rivalry, what that means. Like that I was listening to a coach the other day, and he was a football coach, and he won his rivalry game. And he, at his press conference, he said, there's been people that said, if you just win this game, you can stay here forever. Like, that's the level of importance in these games. That's the level of, respect that we have for them. And the building's going to be full. It's going to be electric. Both buildings are going to be great. Both fan bases are great. Both teams have very good players. It's just we got to find a way. We got to gut it out. We got to find a way. And maybe it's 1-0. Maybe it's 2-1. Maybe it's 5-6. Like you just whatever it takes. And the first one's going to be hard. To get going on the right way again, it's going to be hard, and it's going to take everybody.
So what sticks out to you about this particular group of Huskies? What kind of challenges does their lineup present?
Man, I was watching you're watching the video, and I feel like they're on fast forward. Like they look so fast. If they're forwards in particular, and the one thing that they do as good as anybody is they win the line of protection to win the 50-50. So, when you break that down into the game, you can have all kinds of different schemes that you want, but if you can't win the 50-50, you can't stop the puck, and you can't do what you want to do offensively. So, that's they've beaten everybody that way. They've just won that 50-50. And sometimes hockey's a sport that it's just you line up here and he lines up here, and I'm going to kick your butt. That's it. And that's what these games got to be.